Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that definitely stands Jackie and Max. Welcome back to the Love, Death, and Movies podcast, internet's number one film breakdown and review podcast. The podcast that crushes watch lists week after week. Oh no. Now every 2 months is a different film in that genre, or different genre. Every week is in that 2 months is a different film in that genre. So follow us and everything, join along for the ride, and let's watch some movies.
Once you stumble, it's like you can't stop it.
I
It's
just kind of, you just go for it. You just got to finish because you can't
That was very
restart.
impressive. It was very impressive.
I'm one of your hosts, Ash, butchering the intro, and with me each and every week is Harry, of course. We are continuing on with our book of 90s bangers, all of August and September, but of course, before we get into that, how are you? How's your week been? When's the last time I talked to you? I don't remember, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, face to face. We talked like 2 weeks ago for sure. Ash, I've got a question for you to start everything off. If you
Oh
had a
no.
week of prep time. So I told you like you had to do this 1 week from today. So you had a week to prep time. You had 3 hours. How many McDonald's cheeseburgers can you eat?
What do you mean prep time?
So like you've got a week now. I've given you prep time to drink heaps of water or something. It's not like you
Oh,
have to eat
right,
it
right.
right now. So you got to like in a week's time. There's a 3 hour block. What is the most amount of McDonald's cheeseburgers you'd be able to eat?
Be able to physically or want to eat?
Be able to like the absolute most before you can no longer. Like what's the goal
I mean,
in mind?
I can eat a lot, but not of the same thing like that. I mean, maybe like I want to say 15 is like the most, but like
15's a
probably
lot.
8 to 10 realistically. And then I'd be sick probably later, but I could probably
Yep.
get through it in that period.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking
I'm
a
on
couple an
10.
hour.
I'm on
You're what?
10.
10?
I
Yeah,
think
I feel like
10.
that's more realistic.
I've got a. There's this podcast I listen to where one of them right now is two co-hosts, and one of them right now he made a bet for AFL season and he lost it, and he has to in one sitting eat 30 cheeseburgers, and the whole week leading up to it, he's like, "This is gonna be easy. This is so easy." He got 3 cheeseburgers in. He's like, "I'm already full," and I'm like, "It's on another screen to my right over here. He's on 11 right now, and he's dry heaving." So like, it's
That's
like.
why I feel like what you're eating matters too, because if it's something kind of nasty, that's going to definitely impact the amount that you can eat
It would
for
also
sure.
ruin the cheeseburgers for you forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, after that, you wouldn't be able to eat cheeseburgers again. Let me try and bring this, just a screenshot of this up on my phone so you can see what I'm looking at right now. Like, he looks in the middle of a war. Whoops. He looks awful, and he's done 11.
Oof.
It's awful.
He's having regrets.
Yep, absolutely. But he's
We
funny.
know how his week is going. What about you?
Oh, it's good. What's been happening? What's been happening? I've seen a couple of movies lately. I went and saw there's a documentary that's made by an Australian filmmaker. I can't remember the name. I can look it up. Called Silenced, and it's all about um, uh, female sexual abuse that's in the media and how the media portrays it. So it goes like through
Okay.
different stories of like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and everything like that. And it's all about like trial by media. It's really
Hmm.
interesting, and it surrounds this human rights and free speech defender, Jennifer Robinson, who's like this lawyer who's awesome, and kind of like goes through that. That was really good. So if I reckon that's like kind of like a necessary watch for everybody, just kind of get their perspective on everything because it definitely changed my perspective a lot on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case.
Okay.
For hearing it from that side, that was good. Last night I saw the Dog Stars, the new Ridley Scott film
Oh, okay. I'm not super familiar.
with what's his name, Jacob Elordi,
Hmm.
and like Josh Brolin, Margaret Qualley, and Guy Pearce. It's one of those movies where I watch it so you don't have to. Boring as shit. There's one
Hmm.
scene. There's like a 20 minutes that just takes a complete right turn, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" And then like when if you've seen it, you know what I mean. But everything else, I'm like, it's just, yeah, you don't need to watch it, Ash.
Okay.
You definitely don't need to watch it. What else? I feel like I've seen something else. I definitely have seen something else. There was something else I've seen, Ash. What was the big one that came out last week? There was something big. What was it? It's gonna kill me. But maybe I haven't. Oh, did we talk about End of Oak Street? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That's definitely what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. No.
Yeah, End of Oak Street, really good, fun.
Hmm.
it's kind of it. Like it's just a fun movie. Like it's dinosaurs with Ewan McGregor and Catwoman. It's fun. Like it's like
I was supposed to go see it. I think I told you, and I like messed up my back that day, so I ended up not going. But I want to see it. It does seem like people are liking it, so that's
yeah, I really
definitely
like it.
making me feel better
It is
about
fun.
it.
It definitely is fun. Big news in my world. Natural Treasure 3 officially greenlit.
Yes.
Everyone saw that. Holy shit! That might actually bring me back to TikTok. If I'm being honest, that news absolutely might bring me back to TikTok, which would be
It's fair.
fun. Reading wise, Finish Light bring us on up to date in the universe of Red Rising, greatest universe of all time. It is unbelievable. That book is spectacular. So damn good. Can't wait till you start it. Can't wait till you start.
I promise I will start Red Rising before the end of the year.
You have said that. You've said
I
that.
think it's feeling very much like a fall, wintry vibe
Okay.
for me. So I
Okay.
feel like I'm on that path.
Well, the first book's very much like Hunger Games-esque in space, which is cool.
That makes
but
me
it's-
feel like fall. I don't know why. The
Yeah,
Hunger
yeah,
Games
yeah.
always
Get
came
it.
out in like November, so it works.
Yeah, I get it. But do know that it's like a Trojan horse for the rest of the books. Is like the rest
Got
of the
it.
books is much more like Game of Thrones-esque in space. But he had to write that in order to get published, and more of like a safer one. But it's not safe at all. Like you'll know when you see it. When you
Okay.
read it. But I've started reading The Whisper Man, which is being turned into a movie, and it comes out this week on Netflix with Adam Scott, Robert De Niro. Really good so far. Just a serial killer sort of book. It's pretty creepy. I'm only like 20% of the way through, so we'll see. But how are you, Ash?
Good. Are you reading that because you want to watch the movie, or did you
Yeah.
actually just want to? Okay.
Well, it was on my TBR. I think last year I put it on there. But it was like one of the ones where I'm like, it's like a popular thriller. I was like, I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
And then I saw this pop up. I had no idea that it was being made into a movie. So it was being pop up. It popped up, and I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess I'll read it before
Yeah.
I watch the movie. So and
Nice.
thrillers you can race through. So
Right.
I'll finish that in probably in a couple of days.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm good. It's been a really busy last couple of weeks for me. I had like the busiest weekend ever this last weekend. Only notable things I'll mention is that I went and saw Hairspray on Broadway. That was really fun. My mom and I love that movie, so that was kind of a checking that off a bucket list type of thing for us, going to get to see it. Wasn't like New York Broadway by any means, but it was really good and everybody was fantastic in it. So that was yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know if you've seen any of the Hairspray movies.
I have, yeah.
Okay.
The one that was like 2006-ish.
It was 2007, and yeah, that's the one my mom and I watched when I was like a young teenager. So definitely was fun for us. But yeah, I did that, and then since I talked to you last, I think I've seen quite a few new releases. I went and saw Spider-Man: Brand New Day with my niece and enjoyed it. Don't think it's like the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made, like some people are saying, but I definitely think it's good. Tom Holland's great. And then I watched Undertone at home.
I want to watch that.
I liked it. I was shocked to see that it had so many low reviews. I feel like the atmosphere I set up in my living room was just really good, I guess. It like lights off, very like, in it. I think atmospherically and just like setting wise, it had a lot of things that I enjoy, which I think is also why you're going to like it. Simple, one setting, one house, very eerie, good sound design, a lot of the things that we both like. So I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. And then I watched Backrooms. And I feel like I get it now. I get where like a lot of the 3.5 stars are coming from. It's like it's there, but there's just like it just doesn't come together in the end.
Was so good.
The found footage aspect of it, I was so sad, and then it like takes a complete different direction in the second half, and you have to give them a lot of credit. But yeah, it just wasn't like a fully complete movie to me. It was almost like two halves of two movies or something. So anyways, that's what I've been watching. And then as far as what I've been reading, I think since I last talked to you, I've read Dear Debbie, which was really fun. I wouldn't say that it was the most thrillery thriller of all the thrillers that we've read, but it was like a really long episode of Desperate Housewives. It was really entertaining, had some twists and turns, and I enjoyed reading it. I like Debbie as a character, so I think it's a fun one.
Cool.
And then I started reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager. It's my first book
That's
from him.
awesome.
It's really good on the setting. It's like a gothic horror kind of murder and ghost story with like just really atmospheric, like cool descriptions of the setting. So if you like that type of thing, I think it's definitely good. And there's been a lot of twists and turns, and I'm only like 55% of the way through. So I'm like, what more are they gonna
We
like?
like twists and we like turns.
Yeah, but I like when they're throughout the book. I feel like, I get used to Frida and things like that where it's like it's all at the end usually for the most part, or like 70% through. So it's kind of fun to have them intertwined throughout the story. So I'm enjoying that. I'll probably finish out in the next couple of days because I need to start Mad Mabel for my book club. So
Sick.
that's what
Is
I'll
that
be reading.
Sally Hepworth?
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking at the book across the way. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about movies. Talking about Tarantino's classic from 1997, Jackie Brown. Stars the iconic Pam Grier, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Keaton, Robert Forster, Bridget Fonda, and Robert De Niro. Kind of a more like random cast for his movies. This actually came out on Christmas Day in 1977. I saw that. I was kind of like, can you imagine like getting to be a young adult and see this in theaters on Christmas?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's like how we get like Marty Supreme now for us is like that could be Jackie Brown, at that point. So I thought that was kind of fun. Film goes as follows. Jackie Brown is a flight attendant who gets caught in the middle of smuggling cash into the country for her gun runner boss. When the cops try to use Jackie to get to her boss, she hatches a plan with the help from a bail bondsman to keep the money for herself. So, Harry, what's your history with this film? You've seen it before, I believe, but what's your general thoughts on it and kind of how long has it been, I guess, in your
Yeah, I watched
life?
this when I was like mid to late teenager, so I don't really remember much from it at all. It's good. It's really I think I like it less than you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it feels like kind of beta Pulp Fiction to me. Like the way that
Interesting.
it's told of all these different perspectives. I know that's just like Tarantino's like esque, but like there's a lot to it that I'm like, this was good. It didn't do anything that really wowed me at all. I like a lot of the characters. Jackie's awesome. Jackie's a fucking badass. Like Lewis really annoyed me the entire film.
Yeah.
And I like just to have Robert De Niro in that character. I was like, I wanted more. Samuel L. Jackson was cool, but like that haircut really annoyed me as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was gross. Just cut it off. You
So
fucking
gross.
freak. You rat. But yeah, it was really good. I like this. I feel like I'm shitting on it, but I'm not. I'm like, I really enjoyed my time with it. But I have to compare it with other Tarantinos, and it doesn't hit the same vibe
That's fair.
as the top tier Tarantinos. But it's definitely not like. I think this is like a really good middle tier spot for Tarantino for me, where like all of his films I at least like. So yeah, that'd be where it's it probably for me.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think for me, the first time I watched it, I kind of felt the same way you did. And then this was my like second watch. And I watched it probably, I want to say like maybe 9, 10 years ago. So not like, definitely after Pulp Fiction had already been in my life for a long time. This wasn't like one of my first Tarantino's. Like I definitely watched it after I'd seen probably 5 or 6 of his movies. So at the time I felt the same way that what you're kind of saying. But I do feel like on this rewatch, for some reason, it just hit me a little bit. Like I just liked it more. I also bought the 4K like remaster. So I had like my physical media, and I don't know if it just, the way it looked and sounded added to that. But I just love Jackie as a character. And I guess just the way that this one goes about the crime story, it's like, yes, you have these intertwining perspectives and like shifting from characters, but I feel like it's a much more simplistic style than Pulp Fiction, where it's like out of order and you're kind of, moving from storyline to storyline, whereas this one's kind of just like bouncing between characters throughout the whole movie. And I do really like the scene in the mall where they all like come together and you see the different perspectives shifting around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do agree that the side character's not nearly as interesting as some of his other movies. I think that Jackie really like steals the show, and I wish that she was even in it more than she
'cause you
is.
look at it sucks to compare, but it's by the same director and the same sort of writing style. But like characters like Marcellus Wallace is like there isn't someone like that, like where he like completely dominates, but he's only got a couple of minutes screen time, or like Mia Wallace, or like any like different type of smaller character, where all the other small characters you're like they're well written, but they're not Tarantino well written to me.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but this is one of his only films. I think it is the only one. He didn't like write this story. So this is adapted from a book. And it's like a book kind of about like the era of like blaxploitation and kind of that whole like crime situation that was going on in the 90s. So that's what I read, at least. It's definitely not something that's an original idea from his head. So I think it's probably a balance of trying to like adapt the script, but also keep it true to the story. And so the characters, is what I'm trying to say, may or may not be based on the story. I'm not sure. So that could have something to do with why maybe it feels a little off for Tarantino. But either way, I think that like Max is such a great side character that it kind of helps me forgive the other ones. But I also feel like maybe like with Melanie and Lewis especially, you're kind of supposed to probably think that they're a little bit like dumb in their actions because they get themselves in kind of just the stupidest situation by the end. So I don't know if that's part of it. Like they're not really supposed to be interesting characters, but I do agree it is hard not to compare, and I definitely don't think you're off base. I just like the vibes of this one, and I like the idea that like this middle-aged woman in this situation is like, no, I'm gonna get what's mine, what I deserve, because you're all dumb enough to kind of fall for it and believe me. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a revenge story by any means, but I feel like there's like some of those hints of what I love about like a female revenge story or something. It's like a little sub version of something like that.
Like I really like this. Like I think any scene with Jackie in it dominates for me.
Yes.
Like the scene when Ordell comes to Jackie's apartment to kill her, and then she like completely already reads it. Love that. That sort of
she's
shit.
badass.
Like, I was like, do all that. And then there's this like the scenes whenever they're at what's the woman's name? The blonde woman.
Melanie, when they're at Hermosa Beach, yeah.
Every one of those scenes, I'm like, just get back to Jackie. Just get back to Jackie. Like every single time, it's just like they're just smoking pot and just talking about guns.
It is funny how those side scenes really do feel like they linger on way too long. I do always feel that way watching this, and I'm trying to like understand why that would have been like a choice, because it's not that long of a movie. It's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder.
Starship Troopers is longer than this, by the way.
Yeah.
We're getting into that.
Crazy.
When we talk about Starship.
Crazy. Anyways, I'll go ahead and get started. I only have 2.5 pages. It's kind of just like 2 sections. It's a pretty simplistic story, just kind of stretched out like we were just saying. Not to say it's not great, but just simplistic on paper. So yeah, Jackie Brown, middle-aged flight attendant from a very small airline, and this job gives her access to international travel to Mexico, but she doesn't earn much based on her criminal past. I think she says she only earns like 16 grand a year or something like that. Brutal. She supplements her income by smuggling money from Mexico into the U.S. for Ordell Robbie, who is a gun runner in Los Angeles. That's Samuel L. Jackson, like you already mentioned. He has made a profitable business illegally importing and selling firearms, mostly machine guns, I believe. Ordell gets a call while at his Hermosa Beach home with ex-inmate friend Lewis and one of his girlfriends, Melanie, when he gets a call from Beaumont Livingston, which played by Chris Tucker, by the way.
Yeah, I loved that. He was awesome.
Such a short little role, but kind of hard to recognize him at that age a little bit. He's very young. Who's his bagman, and he's been arrested. So Ordell goes to a bail bondsman, Max Cherry, to bail him out. This is Robert Forster, who I love. I think he's fantastic in this movie. Yeah. He's like really like the heart of the movie. I don't know like why that's kind of like the term I came across, but I was like thinking about it. And I was like, I feel like he kind of like he's just like a good person, Yeah. So I feel like he's kind of at the heart of all these really kind of crappy people that are coming in and out of her life. Once getting him out of jail, Ordell visits Beaumont and lures him into the trunk of his car with the promise that he needs his help and wants to introduce him to his attorney. But ultimately, he ends up taking him around the block and shooting him twice before he dies. So kind.
He's very, it's kind of scary, how much he just learns.
Well, and just the fact that Ordell's so casual about everything. He's just... you don't even read it on his face that he's about to literally murder somebody. But he's so paranoid at the same time, which is interesting that he's so paranoid, but you don't necessarily read that on his face. It's more just with his actions, I feel like, which is an interesting way to do it. Back at the airport, ATF agent Ray Nicoletter, I think is how you pronounce it, and LAPD detective Mark Dargis intercept Jackie in the parking garage. Michael Keaton, yeah. Having already gotten information from Beaumont Livingston about her, they find cash in the bag along with a bag of cocaine that Jackie claims she doesn't know anything about. but they take her in anyways and arrest her on those charges. After learning that Jackie was arrested as well, Ordell goes back to Max to transfer the bond to her and bail her out of jail, notifying Max of Beaumont's untimely death. I love this whole scene. I do like the scenes where Samuel L. Jackson is in the bail bondsman location with Max. I feel like those little back and forths are a lot more fun because you're kind of like they're reading each other, they're sensing each other out. Like I feel like Ordell thinks he's being so smooth, and Max can see right through it, you know. Yeah. And I like those scenes a lot more than the ones like you were saying with Melanie and Lewis. Okay, yeah, of his untimely death. Rest in peace, Beaumont. Upon going to pick up Jackie, Max immediately becomes smitten with her, which is honestly valid. And she requests he take her to a bar to get a drink. She knows a place. There's a bar right next to her apartment. And she learns that Beaumont is dead from Max. Already. She what?
She loves him already.
Yeah, they're smitten with each other.
There's good chemistry between these two.
There is.
It's like
really
respectful
good
chemistry.
Absolutely. I do love this scene too. This is the scene in the bar where it's really like lit up with red. And there's just a scene of Jackie just like telling him everything. And she's just like got the red glow on. It looks so good. I think this movie has a lot of really like vibey and just great shots like that. And especially on the remaster.
Yeah, she was just like, we can't go to that sports bar. It's not dark enough. You're like, oh.
Ooh, what are we going to do?
That's so good.
Jackie tells Max more about what is going on and how she ended up in this situation and kind of her history with work and her past before he takes her home to get cleaned up, and she sneakily takes his gun from his glove box. Later then, Ordell arrives at Jackie's apartment with intention to kill her. We were kind of talking about this scene before, but she's already kind of aware of what he might do, so she pulls out the gun she took from Max, and they end up negotiating a deal. She tells him she will pretend to help the authorities while smuggling in the remaining. So it's $500K, but there's an extra $50,000 on top of that. So the total is $550,000 of his money. Anything to add here? I was going to ask you what you thought of Jackie and Max, but you already said you think they have great chemistry.
Cool. Like Max and Jackie easily the two best characters in this whole movie.
Absolutely.
You want the best for them, like.
Mm-hmm.
And you want the worst for kind of everyone else. But I also really shout out to Michael Keaton. He's fun.
He is fun.
He's one of those actors, anytime he appears, everyone's like, oh. Like, this movie's
he's just like bouncing around in this one. I don't know if it's just like his style. He like got his leather jacket and his jeans, and he kind of looks like he's on something 24/7. You know, his character, like he's just high on life, I guess.
Yeah, I really like him. Really like him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go into the next section. So Ordell has Lewis. This is Robert De Niro. Really weird role for him. I think we can agree on that. Just very odd.
Also, sorry to call back on Chris Tucker's death scene. Really sad. Like, weirdly sad.
Well, yeah, just to like pull somebody around the corner and there's like pop, pop in the trunk.
He's kind of just he's like, I'll take care of you, no worries at all. And he's like, as soon as he's like, just get in the trunk and like, we'll only be in there 10 minutes. You're like, you know it's about to happen. And like,
when he seems young too, like the character seems like he's supposed to be young. Like maybe, even though he's doing something important for Ordell, maybe he's like a little newer to the business, or like he's not been doing it too long. Yeah, definitely sad. Yeah. But anyways, yes, weird role for Robert De Niro. Very strange. Always throws me off. But Ordell has him replace Beaumont since Lewis is a criminal associate and former cellmate. Who was recently released from prison for burglary. While left alone in the beach house, Melanie tries to convince Lewis to betray Ordell and keep the money for themselves. They also do some other things, like smoke weed and other adult activities. It's so funny. I love this, how like, I didn't put it in my notes, but how Lewis like later tells Ordell, and then he's just like, oh, I knew, like, that's just one of my like girls. Like, he doesn't even care. He's like, I wasn't sure if she was your girlfriend. Like, I love how he's trying to be like an honest buddy, but he's like I did it anyway.
Didn't you?
But I will say some of the interactions between Ordell and Lewis are really entertaining. It kind of adds like a comical, not nearly as good as him and John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, like as an example to compare it to, but still there's some funny moments there. So I'll at least give him that. But yeah, she tries to convince them to take the money for themselves. When Lewis tells him about it, he's not surprised or concerned, given he has known that he cannot trust Melanie for some time. Unaware of Jackie's plan, Ray and Mark devise a sting to catch Ordell during a transfer of $50,000. Jackie has her plan to keep the remaining $500,000 for herself, and recruits Max to help her and offers him 10%. I mean, let's be honest, he would do it for free, obviously.
Exactly.
And he does, technically. So Jackie suggests a test run in the mall with $10,000, with Ray and Mark fully aware of the situation. She suggests a swap with one of Ordell's girls, Sharonda, with a very specific shopping bag full of the money. Max comes to the mall to keep an eye on things, even though Ordell doesn't know about his involvement. This is where he first sees Max and starts to get suspicious. Max notices after Jackie leaves that another unknown woman swaps bags with Sharonda. After confronting Ordell, he reveals this is Simone, another one of his girlfriends, being used as a mule to secure his money as a backup. So basically, Sharonda ended up passing it to Simone, and Ordell ended up with the money at the end of the day. So on the day of the actual transfer, Ordell learns that Simone left town with his money. So he decides to sub in Melanie instead. So Jackie has a plan to meet her in the dressing room for the swap, but she's devised her own plan to have Max collect the $500,000 while only giving Melanie $40,000. Jackie tries on a suit, one that she's been eyeing for some time, and enters the dressing room while Melanie manages to sneak in past the store clerk. Jackie passes over the shopping bag of $40,000 to Melanie and places an additional $5,000 on top. And this is, I didn't mention this, but the ATF agent, he marks the bills so that they know which ones with the green dot. So she put some of those into the $5,000 on top with those marked bills so that they won't be suspicious of Jackie whenever she takes all the extra money. Melanie then leaves with Lewis, and this is where we get that great scene I was talking about where you see everyone's perspective. I really like when movies do that well, and I think this scene is done really well. So Melanie leaves with Lewis, and Jackie runs into the food court telling Ray that Melanie ran into the dressing room while she was killing time trying on a suit and stole the money. Meanwhile, Max is able to successfully extract the bag left in the dressing room. I love how she does this. She puts the books in the bag she gives Melanie to make it heavier and make them not suspicious, and then she has her whole method of hiding her money under the bag. I didn't go into like her whole plan that she makes up with Max, but she really is a smart.
She's genius.
Smart lady. But he successfully gets the money from the dressing room, and I even love down to like the detail of like her telling the sales clerk, "Hey, somebody left a shopping bag full of beach towels back there," so that he can then say, "Oh, I think my wife left a bag," and it's not suspicious, you know. So all those little details make the plan work. Ray questions Jackie and momentarily loses faith that she's actually trying to help them, but she's able to convince him that she's on their side and that they will get Ordell. I just have 2 more small paragraphs left. This really is like a quick story.
It is. It really is.
It's weird how it is because when you're watching it, it doesn't really feel like it, but I guess
it's
writing
like
it.
Reservoir Dogs, where it's like 2 paragraphs.
It's like everything is the parts that you love about the movie are really just in the moments where the characters are like just going through the scene.
Yeah. It's like big long conversations about random shit.
Yes. Yeah, all that exposition really adds to it, but it's not like on paper it's so simple. Which I do love in a crime movie. I like when it is a simple thing, but done in a very appealing way. While exiting the parking lot, Melanie is being uncooperative to Lewis and making fun of him for not being able to find the parking spot. It's honestly really hysterical. He grows increasingly frustrated with her to the point where he shoots her dead and leaves her in the parking lot. Why? I love when Ordell's like, "You couldn't have just hit her?" Like,
I love it because you had to do what you had to do. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking
These
about?
men are awful. Absolutely awful. Lewis meets up with Ordell after telling him about Melanie, and they learn that most of the money is missing because, like I mentioned, the books are in the bag. Lewis shares with Ordell that he saw Max at the mall in the store while the exchange was happening. Enraged, Ordell kills Lewis in the car before going on to contact Max. He just kills whoever he wants, doesn't he?
It's kind of wild, isn't it?
It really is. Ordell gets in touch with Max's assistant, Winston, who I haven't mentioned yet, but he has like a very small role, and he's very interesting.
I love
Kind of
Winston.
adds...
Winston's
he adds a little
Winston's
something.
played by.
I wasn't sure who that was. I didn't get a chance to look it up.
We'll look it up. 'Cause
But
I
you
feel
look
like
it
I
up. I'm just going to finish
recognise
this last
him.
paragraph.
Yeah.
But he passes on the message that Ordell will kill both Max and Jackie if she doesn't return the money or goes to the police. Max goes to Ordell to tell him that Jackie is afraid and waiting at Max's office with the money. Ordell holds Max at gunpoint as they enter the office while Jackie yells, "He has a gun!" Ray and Mark come out from hiding, shoot him dead. With everyone dead, the charges are dropped against Jackie, and she plans to leave the country with her new money. And even down to the last scene, Ray's still kind of questioning her because there's this whole conversation about, like, if you could, would you take any? Like, they both kind of talk about, like, would you sneak any of the money? Yeah, definitely. But I love that he, kind of up to the end, still suspicious of her, and she manages to get away with it. That great poker face she has. She visits Max before she heads off to Madrid and invites him to join her, but he declines. They share a very romantic kiss, and he watches her drive away. And then she drives away to that great song that I think is also from the beginning, in a fabulous final drive away scene. This is Jackie Brown. So give me your final thoughts, score, anything I missed.
Winston is played by Tom Lister Jr. I know him because I also watched Dark Knight over the weekend. And he's the prisoner at the end on the boat that throws the detonator out the window.
Got it. Okay.
That's who it is. And I'm like, I know I recognize him. Yeah, really like this movie. This is really well written. It just doesn't give me the same pack a punch as all the Tarantinos I love. But it's like still like really enjoyed watching it. There's characters that I love, but there's a lot of characters that I'm like, oh, I didn't love you nearly as much as I had expected to entering this film because it's a Tarantino film. It really feels like he's hitting his stride with like the multi-POV though. The storytelling, like those scenes, like he's done it in so many other ones, future movies, where like one section it's told through multiple POVs, and it's done so much like better. So like you could see like it's like him evolving here. I gave it 4 stars though. It's still really great. Don't get me wrong, but it's still like you have to compare it to other movies of his.
There's nothing wrong with 4 stars. You don't have to
I think it's 4 stars.
feel bad.
It's like a low 4 stars, but still makes 4 stars.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me it's like a low 4.5. It's definitely not like in my higher 4.5s for his movies, but I definitely liked it more on this watch. I just think that Jackie is such a fun, interesting character.
Awesome.
I just love a lot of the female leads in Tarantino films, which is a crazy thing to say.
And their
feet especially.
What about that close-up of the feet?
Of the feet, it's not surprising at all.
Whoa. Whoa.
Not surprising at all. But I just love the plot here. I love the way that it all comes together. I really love Jackie and Max. Like I said before, I don't think Lewis and Ordell are the greatest side characters, but I mean, they're obviously not supposed to be likable. I just think it's a really, it's different to me than other Tarantino films, but yet it's still so much of the same recipe. I do agree it's not done nearly as polished. It's kind of tough when you come out of the gate with Reservoir Dogs and then Pulp Fiction as your first 2 movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's when you have 2 almost basically perfect films back to back, it's going to be hard for anything to ever live up to that. So I think it's fair to compare it. But I just think that Pam Grier as Jackie Brown is so underrated as far as in the Tarantino universe.
She's awesome, isn't she?
So really love her as this character, and I feel like I watched this movie for the character of Jackie Brown and just to watch the satisfaction of where she ends up by the end. It's a great payoff, but I would agree it's not the greatest 2-hour that you're going to spend in a Tarantino film compared to other movies that he's got, but I still think that it's a very notable one, and I just really love the vibes here and the soundtrack and so many of the the filmmaking aspects of it I really love, even though not all the characters are that great. So yeah, low 4.5 for me. Yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about Jackie Brown. Cool. Well, before we go, we're gonna just do a quick little back and forth of our top 5 Tarantino. We'll just go, I guess, 5, 5, 4, 4, etc. But yeah, I'll let you start us off. What's
Number
your
5 for me? Oh, man, there's so many that could be picked here. I am going to go Django. I think Django's awesome. From the soundtrack, I think that Jamie Foxx was a perfect casting. I thought Christoph Waltz was this was after Inglourious, wasn't it? So it didn't find Christoph Waltz. Inglourious found Christoph Waltz. So,
right?
Yeah, it's just so goddamn good. The soundtrack though is just unbelievable, and him to like really make the western that he wanted to, it was fucking awesome. Django.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I need to rewatch that one. I bought the Blu-ray a few months ago, and I want to rewatch it because that's the only one of his movies I have not rewatched now that we've done Jackie Brown in like the last decade.
Oh yeah,
That's the last one, so you will not see that on my list, but mainly it's because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I do
there's
remember
so
loving
many that
it,
you could pick
obviously.
for this one. So yeah,
Oh yeah. My number 5 is Reservoir Dogs. I still have it at 4.5 stars, so it's actually my highest 4.5 stars. My top four are all like 5-star movies for me. So
nice. Yeah, number 4 for me is Reservoir. Like I think this is one of those movies that keeps getting better every single time, and this is like,
yeah,
it's close setting, pure script, unreal. Love it. I love this movie.
we did it on the pod, right?
Yeah, we did full.
So we've done The Hateful Eight, we've done Reservoir Dogs, we've done Jackie Brown, we've done Pulp Fiction.
We just need to do Inglorious. We need to do Kill Bills.
We'll just have to make it, a goal to do all of them at some point.
That'd be fun.
Well, Death Proof came out in 2007. If we're doing 90s now, so we'll see what happens next.
We'll see. Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, my number 4 would then be Kill Bill. I have it technically as volume 1 because I have not watched the whole bloody affair. I'm looking forward to checking that out. But this was just one that I watched when I was like a teenager, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I love the fighting scenes. I love Uma Thurman in this. I love a good revenge story. So it just has everything that I could possibly want.
Love it. Number 3 for me is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The more I watch this movie, the more it climbs. I love this movie is so goddamn good. And then it has like a third act that packs a punch like no other Tarantino packs a punch. This is, it's goddamn amazing. Brad Pitt in this movie is mesmerizing. So fucking sick. Love this movie. There's so many great scenes. The ranch scene, unreal. Everything on set, like the whole scene where it's just a shot of I don't think it's Bounty Law that he's filming, but it's like him when he was in the saloon, and that whole like scene.
When he's making the movie, like the current movie he gets placed on,
And I'm like, I would watch this movie, absolutely.
Yeah, with him and Walton Goggins.
Good. Yeah, it's like it's just that good.
Yeah, the cast is incredible. Cliff Booth that's also my number 3. Spoiler alert. Cliff Booth is one of my favorite movie characters of all time. I never get sick of him. So that's also my number 3. And I agree with everything you said.
Hell yeah. Well, I think our number 1 and 2 are probably going to be flipped because number 2 for me is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Love this movie. It reaffirmed it when we rewatched it for the podcast of like just how goddamn good it is. So bloody well told. This is like the multi POV of this one movie is like perfect. So many unreal characters. Shout out Mia Wallace. It's just this movie's iconic for a reason. And every single time that someone I think to myself, I'm like, maybe Pulp isn't like one of his best, and then I rewatch it, and I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot to think that, because this absolutely is one of his best.
It's a great answer. Yeah, my number 2 is Inglourious Bastards. It's a perfectly constructed movie with some of the best performances. Christoph Waltz, so terrifying. Everybody is just on it, and the entire premise of the story and just the way it plays out is just, it's so dark, yet there's moments that are funny and just action packed and bloody, and it's got everything. Perfect movie.
Yeah, my number 1's Glorious. This is a perfect film for me. Like, this has probably my favorite opening of any film ever.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stop from there.
Right.
And the whole story of how he wrote the ending. Do you know what that's the story of how he decided what to do with Hitler?
I feel like I've heard it, but I'm not sure. I'm blanking
he says
right now.
He was writing the third act, and he had 17 different drafts, and none of them worked. He's like, how am I getting him out of this theater? He had no idea how to do it. He's like, in any way that he did it, it just didn't seem logical. And then he was up at he woke up in the middle of the night, 4 a.m., and he wrote something on a piece of paper next to his bedside table and went back to sleep, and he woke up in the morning, looked at it, and it said, just fucking kill him. And that's what he did. And it kind of just made it so goddamn good. So yeah, Inglourious Basterds is perfect.
Love it. Sometimes you gotta, take a little break of the brain to have those great ideas come. My number 1's Pulp Fiction. It's my favorite movie of all time. I saw it at the New Beverly on 30 millimeter, or 35 millimeter. So there's really nothing I could really ever do that's going to beat that. But yeah, it's been my favorite movie of all time for a decade. So don't think it's changing anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, that wraps up our top 5 Tarantino, our thoughts on Jackie Brown. Let us know what you think of Jackie Brown in the comments. Next time we'll be doing Starship Troopers, which should be good fun. And we are doing that, maybe in the next 10 minutes. We'll see. See if Harry still looks like he's in jail.
Prisoner.
But until next time, I'm Ash, that's Harry. We'll see you at the movies.